Me is Jean-Olivier Dalfond, Chief Commercial Officer and Partner at Pixmob, a Canadian manufacturer and global leader in wireless lighting wearables and installations. Jean-Olivier's strategic vision has seen Pixmob take part in major global events like the Super Bowl and concerts for international artists like Coldplay. Jean-Olivier, what can you tell us about the work you have been doing with Pixmob?
Well, I think what's most important is that people want to get out of their house after COVID. They want to be together. They want to feel that joy that only happens when you put people in a space together, like a Coldplay concert. Something special happens there, and Pixmob is kind of the catalyst. It syncs the music to the light. It's on the people, and it's just so much more powerful like that.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, you mentioned COVID there. How much of a boom have you seen in live events since the pandemic?
There's been a major wave of live event growth around the world, and we've been riding that wave. It's been, there's issue with money, with inflation, but they still spend money on going to concert because it feels good, it's real, and it only happens where you're able to go and do it. So we've been doing that and trying to bring the fans even closer to the artists, to the people they idolize.
Yes, and the technology that Pixmob has, how does that utilise the technology and bring people closer to the artists, as you've mentioned?
Yeah, it's a simple technology ultimately that's executed, I think, pretty well. Is that you get a wristbands, you wear it, and we control it along with the rest of the lights of the show, right? So there's going to be a lighting operator. He's going to be doing lasers, he's going to be lights, smokes, and one of the tool in his toolbox is Pixmob that she can just light up the entire crowd at the exact moment that you want it. So if there's a drum, there's a beat, then boom, the light lights up, and it's just that you feel the music. It's powerful.
Yes, and how does Pixmob see the future of live events changing, utilising this technology that you have helped bring to the global stage?
What's interesting about live events is that it's a limited amount of seats that you can have, and it becomes something that's very precious. So that artist wants to make the best show possible because they know somebody else could go to the movie, they could go stay at home, but if they choose to spend the money to go on a concert, they want to make that experience incredible. And I think that's where Pixmob's able to help. And because the fan, if you invest in them, they're going to invest in you. So that's kind of, we think that we want to keep leveling that up so that not only it's light, but in the 60,000 humans can now create a human video screen thanks to a new technology that we released at the Olympics and the Super Bowl. So you can look at a stadium full of humans and like, whoa, what you see is a video screen.
Yes, and I want to ask a question for you here. How exciting is it to be a part of a company that is reaching global audiences?
It's always been a dream of mine to work across the world, especially if we're able to work in Asia. I think that is a place that's so much more connected, so much more powerful. I was so happy that I got the chance to go to Mumbai to see Coldplay. It's powerful to do that, and I think it makes you see that humanity is the same all around the world. People want to be with the people they love, having a good time and connecting and feeling good. That's essentially, it's beautiful to see because we need that in the world.
Absolutely, and with so much uncertainty currently globally, it must be extremely rewarding knowing that you're bringing that positivity to people's lives.
Yeah, it feels like we're bringing a little bit of joy, a little bit of positivity. I mean, essentially they're bringing that. We're just kind of like stimulating it. So yeah, it feels good to be a part of that. And at the beginning I was wondering, like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? It's a bit pointless, but actually now I realize it's absolutely not pointless. Making people feel happy together, making a large crowd of people feel like they're living something powerful. I think we need more of that in the world.
Absolutely, and having worked on huge global projects like the Super Bowl and Coldplay's tour, as you've mentioned, what's next for Pixmob?
Yeah, what's next is to bring it everywhere, right? So we are doing some large shows, Super Bowl, Olympics, Coldplay, great, but how do we bring it into somebody's wedding? How do we make it in a way that's efficient? How do we light up 500 people, 1,000 people? How do we bring it to a school play? That's our dream, that any event has a solution that can work it out so that we can bring more of that joy. So that's what we're working towards.
Yes, and you talk about joy to not just huge stadiums and international audiences, but also there to potentially smaller groups and different productions as well. How feasible is that, and what's the sort of time frame that you're looking at?
So what's important is like, how do we make it in a way that's sort of super optimized, super efficient, right? It's a little bit like if right now we're like just building Ferraris, but we want to build Toyota Corollas. And so that's a product thing because we build, we make, we manufacture everything. This is the spin we're doing. So how do we get to do that? We're completely changing our product line to evolve it. So we're able to serve this market that we want to serve, that we want to be in. So we're looking at a 12 to 18 months time frame to be able to really go out there and go into a lot of events.
Yes, and you spoke about your own experience going to Mumbai and seeing the Coldplay show, and of course Pixmob technology in action. What was the pride like for you in that moment, and seeing tens of thousands of people doing something that you've been such a core part of creating?
It was more amazement to feel like part of history. Like, oh, hey, here's this amazing large concerts of Coldplay coming to India and having all these people at amazing events together. So a lot of people in India would tell me like, yeah, it's kind of a first that what's happening. It's not a festival. It's actually like a ticketed event. And I thought it was really, really neat to be part of history and to witness the audience that had such a good time. It was amazing.
Yes, and that immersion, you mentioned there going to a cinema or the advent of streaming, which of course has become so popular. What is the battle for you and your company that you work with to get people outside at these events which are using your technology?
I think that's more the battle of the promoters, right? People who are putting on the show. I think it's us is how do we make it good every time, right? If you go see a cricket game and it's fun once, well, how do we make it and we keep pushing the envelope? And that's why we keep building different control technology. So it's not just light, but we could do a lot of things. So that's our challenge, to help the promoters, to help the companies that are taking the risk to bring these large events, which is tremendous. So we want to help them out and make it so that we drop jaws every time.
Yes, absolutely. And Jean-Olivier, to bring an end to this discussion, you've spoken about the wearables. I'd like to go into a little bit more detail about the installations and the potential scope with that as well.
So what we do now is not only to give away a wristbands, but we say, hey, how do we elevate the game? So now new stadiums, new arenas are getting a light that's built into the seat that does 300 shows a year. So we're doing that in California, both in San Francisco and Los Angeles at the Intuit Dome. And so basically you sit down and it feels like a different place, that everybody around you is glowing in that light. Is really powerful. So that's how do we keep doing that? How do we do more of these venues, smaller venues, cinemas? It could be theater. This is where we're thinking that we want to bring this, so there's that sense that when we go out, it's magical.
Absolutely, and that magic is something that we need in a world of growing uncertainty. It will be extremely exciting to follow the journey of Pixmob. Jean-Olivier Dalphond, thank you ever so much for taking the time to speak with us and talk us through the project.
Thank you.